From buyers pacing the floor waiting for their new home to be completed due to long new construction delays, builders battling supply shortages and skyrocketing material cost. 2, record double-digit year-to-date sales increases. Today we're taking a look at the new home market, second quarter 2021. What happened and why, and where I predict it's going. I'm Lisa Kelly, Lakeland Homes Lifestyles with Premier Realty, and we're getting started right now. New home sales did fall 6.6% in June, following a downward trend that we were seeing in April and May. But despite this cooling trend, new sales were up 13.5% year to date. So how can that be? According to the chairman of the National Association of Home Builders, sales continued to trend lower in June as some builders slow sales contracts to manage supply chains, among longer delivery times and higher construction costs. That makes sense, but when he said that some builders are slowing sales contracts, I immediately tuned into that. In a sec, I'm going to tell you what's happening in the greater Lakeland area and what I'm experiencing when he says some builders are slowing contract sales. Actually, it's a good thing. The good news is lumber prices have really improved here lately. But it takes time to translate that into lower construction costs. So how is new sales going up? And how is this going to affect pricing on new homes going forward? First, let's clarify what constitutes a new home sale. A new home sale is when a contract is signed and a deposit is accepted. Now that home can be in any stage. It could be not started yet, under construction, or completed. Some builders are slowing construction contracts until stage 5. That's when all the mechanicals are installed in the house. This way, they're able to lock in that sales price and gauge a much tighter completion date, which will enable the buyer to plan much better. Inventory homes, meaning homes that have been released for sale but the construction hasn't begun yet, was up 84% year to year. That is a crystal clear sign that builders were suffering supply limitations in the market. In contrast, completed, ready to occupy inventory was down 44%. And I can predict that's going to increase in the third quarter this year. Because of supply and material pricing challenges, builders are limiting the number of lots available in planned development. Yes, the land is there and plans are in place to build. But getting the permits, supply, and the labor to build them is the trick now. The good news is because of the correction of the limited supplies and the consistent consumer demand, local builders are doing a really good job trying to catch up. I predict that we're going to see a marked inventory increase starting in the first quarter in 2022. The not so good news is that new home prices will continue to rise, but not at the pace of existing home sales where total craziness is happening right now. Plus, just like buying an existing home, you're going to be competing with other buyers. One question I get a lot from buyers who have already experienced that multi-offer bidding war situation when trying to get their offer accepted on an existing home. How do builders choose which offer to accept in a multi-offer situation? For one, it's not about the purchase price. New planned development home prices remain the same. The price is the price. What the builder looks for is the financial strength of that buyer and the highest likelihood that buyer will close. It's not like when you get into contract with an existing home where you typically get into contract and close in 30 days. With new construction, you have a projected completion date that can and most likely will change. So the buyer is looking for the offer that has the highest probability of financial endurance during this build time. Plus, they're requiring a larger earnest money deposit. Of course, if you're a cash buyer, your offer is going to go straight to the top of the list. But if you're financing and you have a high debt-to-income ratio, you're putting the minimum amount down, and your credit score is in that 650 range, chances are your offer may not be chosen. All in all, the new construction forecast looks very favorable for the patient buyer, especially in the next 2 quarters. Interest rates are still predicted to remain historically low, and builders are still offering incentives to pay towards your closing cost. And more inventory is on its way. If you've been following my new construction video series, you already know the importance of having your own representation before you start looking at homes. But for those of you watching for the first time, I invite you to check out my new construction series, where you'll learn how to save money, learn about the builders, and make smart decisions when buying a new home. I'm Lisa Kelly, and until then, I'll see you on the next one.